Chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Green, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to express gratitude and appreciation to the many who have called. I rise to thank people for the kindness that they have shown. I rise to express my deepest, most deepest heartfelt appreciation for those who've had the courage to stand up to hatred, to stand up to bigotry. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to say thank you. I want to especially thank those who are in leadership. I especially thank two persons, Representative Clyburn and Representative Benny Thompson. They both called me to express concern and to give me advice as to how to proceed. For those who may not know, some very ugly things have been said, but they are not in any way comparable to the many kind words that have been expressed. So thank you to all on behalf of my staff, many of whom are young people who are having this as their first experience with Congress. Thank you on their behalf. I also, Mr. Speaker, want to explain why some of these ugly things are occurring. And the best way to do it, in my opinion, would be to use the words of J. Patrick Kinney. J. Patrick Kinney has written a poem styled The Cold Within. And this poem speaks to the extreme cupidity in our world, not stupidity, cupidity. It speaks to the extreme religiosity. It speaks to the extreme prejudice that some have to endure. It speaks to the extreme wealth and the abuse of it. J. Patrick Kinney talks about a cold night, possibly the coldest night ever on the planet Earth. These are his words. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in black and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story's told. Their dying fire in need of logs, the first man held his back, because on the faces around the fire, he noticed one was black. The next man looking across the way saw one not of his church, and he couldn't convince himself to give the fire his stick of birch. The third man sat with tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his stick of wood be put to use to warm the idle rich? And the rich man just sat back and thought of all he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire faded from sight. For all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. And the last man of the forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. Their logs held tight in death-still hands was proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without. They died from the cold within. I yield back.